Oh, right. I think we're going now, checking the mic. And like click the record and it just like didn't start for like 5 seconds. So I'm like, oh no, maybe it didn't work. Oh, it looks like it's doing okay. Just adjust this a tiny bit. Okay, cool. Now it's facing me. Not that I'm sure that matters too much. Anyway, welcome back to another one of these things, whatever they are. Just talking about whatever comes to mind. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and that your weekend was doing all right. Hope your weekend was doing just peachy. If you hear a little bit of Animal Crossing in the background, that's because there's a little bit of Animal Crossing in the background. Heather is collecting festival items. Because there's apparently a lot going on in the spring of 2021 in Animal Crossing. Winter, late winter. We're closer to spring now, I think, than we were at the beginning of winter. Maybe not. Maybe we're about halfway there. I think we're about halfway there. Heather just gave me the side eye. Like, no, it is still winter. I'm like, I don't know why you defend winter so much. I'm kind of done with it. Nothing. Though, I guess that is a pretty crazy thing. I shouldn't say crazy. It's not. I'm in the, what is it? The Midwestern United States, as they like to call it. Um, there's a we get like some of the like I don't want to say like the most extremes of weather. I mean, it's not like as cold as the poles or like as hot as like Qatar or something, but it's still we can get some pretty extreme weather. Our summers have been pretty. I think last summer was kind of mild actually, but it's not uncommon for us to get over 100-degree Fahrenheit weather, and in the winter it is fairly common for us to be caught in well below freezing weather. Um, it's silly for me to think of it because I know 0 degrees Celsius is freezing, but we hit 0 degrees Fahrenheit so frequently, like in winters around here, that I've started associating that with freezing, and I'm like, actually, 32 degrees is that, and it's actually quite balmy compared to the weather we get right now. This weekend we hit some temperatures below zero. I think the lowest we saw was maybe -8. Might have been like with the wind like -12, -15, but it was very cold. Like it was 12 degrees outside this afternoon. We went to go take Rose for a walk, and it felt super nice by comparison. It's nice not having to or being able to go outside and it not being like painful within 3 minutes. Like that's kind of how bad it can get. And I was kind of thinking, it's like, man, our ancestors, like who, or even just people who still live in like areas like that, I guess they're more prepared for it than like we are here. Like we get, because we just live with like such a wide range, like, we'll be like well below freezing, like I just said, like -12, -15 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter, and going to like plus 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a huge range here that we deal with, and I guess as such we don't have like clothes that work all the time. Like most of my stuff is like maybe jeans, light pants, and t-shirts, because we're not usually at the extremes. We're usually somewhere in between, and like a t-shirt and pants is usually fine for like most of like going into winter, most of spring and fall, for as long as they last, and summer. So it's one of those things, like maybe it's just if we were like more prepared or dealt with those extremes more often, like we'd be more prepared to deal with that. But it's just like kind of ridiculous when it does get to that point. It's like, oh great, my jeans and the t-shirt are just not going to get me through this abomination of a very very chilly winter. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I'm glad that we're getting out of that, at least with the what was it, the arboretum that I volunteer with, one of the stewards there was just like, yeah, it looks like we should be getting into the balmy teens again. And I'm like, it doesn't actually feel that way. It doesn't feel like it coming out of summer and out of fall when we came out of those and it just started getting into like the 30s. And I'm like, gosh, it's so unbearably cold. And then we hit these 0-degree weather days, and then it's just like we get back into the 20s, and it's like, okay, I feel like I can go out for a run right now. It's not gonna be terrible. But as soon as we got out of the fall weather and into this winter weather, I'm like, I stopped running when it got below 20, and I was just like, okay, this isn't working for me. So it'd be nice if we got back to that. I doubt we're anywhere near that, because it's just like our winters are lasting for seemingly ever these days. It doesn't seem to start until like late December, and they like last until like end of March, early April. It's pretty crazy. I think at one point we got snow, maybe like it's either beginning of April or beginning of May. It was pretty crazy. That doesn't normally happen. That's like well into spring. We're knocking on summer's door at that point, and we still deal with some cold temperatures there. But I'm pretty sure that's just humans impacting the planet in ways that we had no idea we were able to do that. That's that influence that just overflows into lack of control and chaos. Fun stuff. Anyway, I don't think I had too much to talk about today. Spent a lot of time just kind of chatting about how Midwestern United States has some pretty awful winters. Yuck. Anyway, this is late anyways. I was working for entirely too long today. Should have pulled the plug on that way long ago. But yeah, we'll just call it that. Say we just sort of chat about how winters here are bleh. Or at least the extreme parts of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the snow. I especially like the first snow. That's just like you get like a good amount of it. It just feels good. You get to take the dog out, and they were just totally having a good time, and it just sort of looks nice for a bit. But then it just gets cold, and the snow doesn't really go away, and it starts getting like muddy and sooty and dirty, and everything's just like slippery and whatnot. It has very quick diminishing returns, but I do enjoy the beginning of it. I just wish it didn't last as long. One of those things like, it'd be nice to visit maybe, but at the same time it's kind of like, this is like the only real weather I know. It's just this crazy bounce back between extremes. Anywho, we'll leave it at that. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and you continue having a fantastic Tuesday. And we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.